Good evening, racing fans. Welcome to the Odds Couple Show. Dan Cronin here, representing the Bruins. I'm Jimmy McNerney, representing Turfway, and good to have you back.
Good to be back. Time to fire tonight.
Tonight is the time to fire, Dan. There's, I'm sure you're well aware, but for those of you racing fans are not, we do have several sizable carryovers tonight. The major one being in the opening leg, that's the 50-cent pick 5 carryover, $24,354. That's a 50-cent bet on the first 5 races. Single 6 in race 3, 20-cent base bet over $18,000. Then the high 5 just shy of $1,500. Pick 5, big carryover. I'm sure you're going to be involved, and we'll have a ticket for him.
I already made my ticket.
Yeah,
I didn't want to get shut out.
No?
Yeah, I spent a few hundred.
Yeah, you don't want to get a shutout. You want to get those bets in early. The crowd will be big tonight. A lot going on here at the track. $1 Friday, $1 dogs, $1 beers, $1 bets. And the Naked Karate Girls with Brian Niehaus, featured entertainer tonight, will be taking the stage. So I'm looking forward to that.
Brian Niehaus?
Yeah, he goes by initials sometimes.
Oh, boy.
You know him?
Yep.
Okay. We'll name him later. It's going to be a surprise. He's coming on for one song. So, anyway, the Naked Karate Girls are here. $1 dogs, beers, and bets. A lot going on. I think the Girl Scouts will be in the house selling cookies as well. Maybe even a eating challenge as well, I've heard. So, but horse racing is at the forefront here for Dan and I, and we're going to get into this action on this 8-race card. Again, that pick 5, $24,354. And with 47 minutes to post, Dan, tell us how we're going to kick it off.
I'm only using 2 horses to start the pick 5.
Okay.
I'm going to use the 3 Frontana, which somebody obviously loves. Opened up at 1-2 here. You know, shipping in Wesley Ward, straight maiden, speed, dropping down, gelded, Corrales. I mean, you got pretty much everything, right? And I think the only horse that can beat him is the 2, Wicked Worry. And, you know, you got to deal with the inside. You get Burke, but you know, the fairground shippers have done well here.
Yes, they have.
So, you know, I think if you take those 2, I'd be surprised if you don't get to the next leg. And the way I'm playing it is skinny here, spread like crazy, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, single in the 5th, and I'm just hoping that I can get to my horse in the 5th.
Okay. Well, I'm interested to see who in the 5th. I'm kind of taking a similar approach. Exact same approach in the opening leg. As you folks can see on the screen, Dan and I are in agreement with the top 2. That's the only 2 I'm going to punch in the pick 5 as well. If we're playing the try, Dan's going to throw the 4 in there for a bit of a price, and I'm going to throw the 8 in there. Maybe after that, I don't know, the 1 is drawn the rail, but that mare's thrown 4 winners from 7 starts. But for all the same reasons Dan spoke of, I'm on the 3 and 2. Those are the only 2 I'm going to use in the pick 5 as well. But if you're playing the try or super, I think skating on thin ice, returning to the 15 level on the turnback has a chance to run into the try, and should be a price, as should Dan's third choice there, Patio Prado from the Red Hot Hammond Barn. So that's race number 1, pick 5, 50-cent bet, and we're going to move on and talk about the second race. And speaking of spreading, if I'm playing a pick 4, I'm probably going to use almost every horse I can in here, because this race, I think any horse can win.
I got real big on the sheet, all. I just think you have to have the all button. I like Sweet Rock the best. You don't even have him in the top 3. I just think somebody's going to close. Somebody's going to come plodding late. This horse at least has 3 wins at Turfway. You know, you get Machado to come hopefully swinging wide and late. I don't know. I mean, Prom Theme I can't take going a mile, but I understand, you know, to throw him into pick 5. Sour Peach, I thought, had a big chance. You know, got a win right back against Tougher. And Secret Town just photoed with Sour Peach. So those are my top 3, but I don't trust anything in here.
I don't either. I'm gonna hit the all button if the budget will allow me to after I play those pick 5s. And I think the in-house ticket we had to cut a little bit shorter, but we're going to use 7 horses in the pick 4. Now the pick 5 I'm going to spread. I'm hitting the all button. I think any horse could win in here. Sour Peach, obviously, she's a horse you got to probably use if you're shortening it up. She's a 5-time Turfway winner. But she's usually been kind of consistent on the board. But 2 back as a beaten favorite, she threw in a clunker, then came back and was a little more of a price against almost the same exact field and did win. I don't know about the pace in here. I don't think there's an abundance of speed. So That was that was my thing. Every horse you go on here, they've either beaten each other, they take turns, or or they've run in the same numbers. Even a horse like Classy Scarlet, the 8 horse at 15-1, you can use. So if you can punch the all button, I would do so in here. This is the race that any horse can win. It's one of those races I think you can get a decent payout. Definitely double-digit horse going to win this race, I believe.
Yeah, I think so too. So to me, that's the typical Turfway all button.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm going to go 4-9-2 for my top three. The 9, Baronet, she's the daughter of the Funny Bone. And this one is stretching out from a barn that's starting to heat up. He's had a couple of wins here the past couple of days, and the jockey's on fire the last couple of weeks. Sammy Bermudez, if there's been a bomb to be brought in, he's been the one riding it. And I look for this horse returning to the stretch out, 2-time winner at the distance, to have a big shot as well. So if you're throwing some horses in there, Dan's going to go 1-4-7. I'm going 4-9-2. Those are our top 3 picks, but we're going to spread, and we're going to use the all button in that race. Now, third race starts the single 6. It's a 20-cent base bet, and there's a carryover of $18,047 in the single 6 starting in race number 3. And how'd you see this race, Dan?
Well, I thought this was a little bit easier. 3, 4, 9 for sure. I think you got to have. And then I'm going to throw in a couple more in the pick 5, but I think TT's the one to beat. I'm not wild about, the rider.
Do you have a nickname for him?
I don't have one yet for that. For
the Great White Hope is what they call it.
I love it. But I do love the post. I like the fact that the horse likes to win. Been running some decent figures. So I think that one's going to get a pretty safe trip out there. And then you got the 3 News Box and the 4 Travel True coming in. I like taking shippers and pick 4s and pick 5s because a lot of people don't take them.
Yeah.
They just see that and they get nervous and they just throw them out. I like to throw them in. I'm the opposite. So I'm also going to add the 1, 2, and 6. So I'm spread pretty good again. Of course, I only took 2 in the first. We're going to take several in the second, third, and then I'm singled in the 5th. So I'm not going to have too many multiples as we get further into this.
Okay, and then race 3 that starts a single 6. I like the 3 for the same reasons. This News Box threw in a clunker last start, but the clunker was only getting beat 4 lengths. Now that was 2 in 6 months. Gets a little class relief in this 2 in a full year. I'm going to use the horse on top, and number 7, Knockout Rangers 1. I'm going to add in my spread. Now 20-1 comes from the Aniro barn, and this one I think will wake up today. Sammy Bermudez has the call. And then number 9, TT, for the same reasons I'm going to throw him in. I'm going to add a few other ones, and when I come on the show later on, I'll give you those as well. But those are my top 3, 3, 7, and 9. Dan's going 9, 3, 4, and he's going to spread out here. How many are you going in the third race? 6?
Yeah, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 9.
The only one.
The only one you got's a 7.
The only one I'm at, the 7 and 8 I'm adding in mine as well. Same numbers. So now that takes us to the 4th race. 4th race is a open 5 claimant event. I'm going to shorten it up pretty good in here. And I know a lot of people are going to be on this horse, but Bresno is a 10-year-old. And it comes from a good barn. Steve Cahill, leading rider Alvin Jimenez up. Faced a pretty good field in that 8 level last start, Dan. And the horse strong in win that race. We were on him on last Friday's show a little bit. He just got beat in the first level.
Yeah, just barely got beat against a lot better. So, yeah, Bresno you got to use.
How many are you using here?
Well, I used 2 of them in my spread, my big ticket. And that's the 3 and the 8, no lemon, no lime. And I did another smaller ticket where I did add the 6 and 7, but I need a lot to go right in that one to be alive with those 2 extra ones. But I like no lemon, no lime the best just because, again, post position, speed, might make the lead from out there.
He's well drawn to the outside. I used him, like I said, I used him on my ticket. You'll see he's 3rd. And the horse you spoke of, the 7, I'm adding him as well. Edgar Perez doesn't ride very many here, but he is winning now. This one hasn't raced on the Turfway surface, but it's only been worse than 3rd once on the synthetic.
Yeah, I don't see why you can't add in the 6. Why not? 16 wins out of 61. Drop it in class a little bit. Good outside post.
Yeah, he's coming out of the same race with Strong in, and we used him last start for the 8. We talked about him on here. We liked the rider change last time and thought maybe he didn't want to be rushed and could lay off the pace. But this race here, I think it's going to be it's pretty much a rider's race to me. It looks like there is an abundance of speed in here.
Yeah, I think you can get through with probably the 3-8, maybe add a couple more if your budget allows, but I'm trying to get through with 3-8 because I'm going so deep in the second and third that unless my main horses will win the second and third, I'm only going to have 3-8. Now, if I get my main ones home, I'll also have the 6-7.
All right, so I'm interested to see in fifth race you're going to single. I didn't single in the fifth. I have it narrowed down to 2, but I'm interested to hear which one you are singling. I'm sure it's one of the 2. But fifth race, a filly and mare, a non-3 to go a mile. It starts the late pick 4 and ends the pick 5. And we're completely different here, and I'm glad to hear your reason here.
Well, I love Bronco Sally, the one. Mike Maker, number 1. Fairgrounds Shipper, number 2. I love these kind of horses. Shipping in, successful on the grass, tactical speed, a little time off. I think Maker he ships those in here that he thinks are going to do well in the poly. And other than the 5 and 9, there's nothing else in here with any chance. So to me, it's a 3-horse race. I think Bronco Sally's got the most class. So we'll see. I mean, it's a little bit of a guess because, Saratoga, Aqueduct, Gulfstream, Fairgrounds, they've been all over with this one trying to win. But I think she's going to sit that tactical trip, and we'll get first run on the 5 and 9.
I can see a reason there. I'm trying to beat her. I'm gonna go with the 5 Twin Channel. That race last start, getting beat 9 lengths to a pretty good field. Naughty Joker, New Rue from the Drury Barn, Naughty Joker from the Wesley Barn. But Jenny's Beep Beep, she's undefeated filly from the Granites Barn, and we're going to see her here on the Latonia Stakes on March 14th. This one been facing good company. 2 back, you'll see, was 3rd, beating a length and a quarter. Drops in class, comes from a good barn. I like her a lot. Number 9, Novella, she just missed last start for the 15 when being claimed. Goes to a really good barn who wins at a good number. And the only thing that scares me with this horse a little bit, he hasn't ran her back since claiming her. He waits till she's out of jail, and he runs her back for what he took her for. So, little reservations there with me on that horse. And then after that, I was in between the 1 and the 10. I'm going for the 10, Kojo's Queen. Larry DeMerit sends this one out, and this one gets the services of Julie Burke. 5, 9, 10 for me, and you're singling the 1, Bronco Sally.
How many are you using in the pick 5?
2.
You're 5 and 9?
Yeah.
And I'm singling the 1, so one of us hopefully will be right.
Yeah, hopefully. Or maybe I'd have to just increase my ticket.
In the pick 4, starting in the 5th race, I am using 1 and 5. I'm not using a 9. I just got too many reservations about that class level in that last race. So I'm going to at least try to save, if I'm alive in the pick 5 to the single, I'll take them both. Because I don't think you have to take many in the 5th or the 6th, and then spread a little bit in the 7th and 8th.
I think the last race you have to spread a lot. Like you said, in the 7th, there's a few of them. The 6th race, I have it down to 2, and it's probably the obvious 2.
I would think so. Wesley Ward and Wesley Ward. I mean, which one's better? I don't know. I mean, you can't tell by the works.
No, it's very hard. They're very similar. Race 6, it's a filly 3-year-old A other than optional 50 to go 3/4 of a mile, sponsored by the East Side Swingers. Beachmont Tennis League's in the house. I think our GM Chip Box part of that club as well. But it's a good quality allowance race. You get down to the 2 Wesleys. One's drawn the 4-hole Chili Patina. This one's the daughter of City Zip, debuted at Keeneland, and she was a winner. Went to Ascot, coming out of the same race as the 6, and they run right next to each other at the line. So these horses are similar. Like you said, the work pattern is the same, but is there anybody else can beat them too?
I don't think so, and I think the way this race is going to go, I think Chili Paton, is that how you pronounce it? Petin?
I don't know. I'm going to have to go back.
The 4, the other Ward, I say. I think that one's going to show more speed from what I've been hearing. This one's a little faster. But
which one's faster?
Neabeth.
Neabeth's faster?
No, I think the 4 is a little faster out of the gate, but Neabeth's got a ton of quality, and that field she beat at Keeneland, I think, researching it, turned out to be better.
It was. It went faster, too.
Yeah, and they went faster. She's got the better post. Riders are about a wash, I think. And I know the owners of the 6, so maybe I'm a little biased, but I know they've been touting this horse since the first day they got her. They all bet on her. Of course, you can tell by the price, the whole country bet on her. They took her over to Ascot. I mean, she ran okay over there. She didn't run terrible. I don't know what happened, a little injury and lay up, and this will be the one race and then ready for Keeneland, I guess, is the plan. So we'll find out how good she is tonight. I'm not singling because of the mystery. I'm just taking 4-6.
Yeah, I can see it. That's all I'm using. It's just on paper, it's them 2. And And I don't see beating either one of those two. The works show they're back in form. Both of them's working well. I just don't know which one can win because their numbers are kind of the same. But in the breeding on both of them's good. They both come from the barn of Wesley. I think you punch 4-6 and go on, and that takes us to race number 7. Now the 7th race is a filly mare 3 cents at 8 or non-4 claimant event to go 5 1/2 furlongs. And in the 7th race, let me just make sure there's no scratches because we're going to spread
bunch
here. The 6, 7, and 8 are out. So those were
all the horses I liked.
Those are three horses that figured here in the 7th race. Again, filly and mares to go 5 1/2 furlongs. And how'd you see it?
Well, I think it's wide open. I'm going to take a bunch of them in the pick 4. I might even hit the all button, but I think Lucky at Justice, to me, is the top horse. 12 to 1's not going to happen with these scratches, but I'm hoping I can get 5 or 6 to 1. I love the post. I like the drop in class. I like the fact the horse has been competitive at a higher level. The 3 for 35 I don't love,
right,
but I think the post is going to be the main thing, to just sit out there, go when ready. And you're not really that far out now with 6, 7, and 8 being out.
Yeah.
By my math, that's a 7-hole.
So good math.
That was pretty good math, I think. And my other horse, I think the 9's going to go to the lead, and I'm hoping that the 5 will come late. And then I might use the inside horses also in the pick 4. I'm going to throw the 4 in, and I'm going to throw the 2 in. I might end up hitting the all button. Depends on
how the first 5 races go.
Yeah, how the first. If I'm alive if I'm alive in the pick 5, I might get a little more aggressive in the pick 4. Trying to cover myself a little bit.
Yeah, I agree with you there. That's going to be my angle tonight as well. Same 3 numbers in the same numerical order in the same picks for us, 10, 9, and 5. Same reasons for the 10, 9, and 5. The 5, I like this horse at 10 to 1. Obviously, like you said, with losing those 3 favorites, these odds are going to be much less than the morning line shows. But this one was claimed last start and had an excuse. Stumbled at the gate, was ridden terribly by the jock that day, and was way out wide. He really didn't give the horse much effort till late in the game. And first off the claim here, returns back to the 5 level, has a bullet work since then. And those are 3. You said you're going to add the 1 as well. I'm going to add the 2 also. I think you spoke about the 2. I think this horse should run very well. Now, I know it's a non-3, but those races on the form, those numbers it ran when it was doing well, it stacks up with this field. So race 7, 10, 5, 9, our top 3. We're going to add the 1 and 2 as well. Now, the pick 5, again, we talked about it starts in race number 1 in here in 31 minutes to post. Big carryover. You want to get involved in that. The pick 6 carries over as well. There's a carryover in the high 5 in race number 8 here on Dollar Friday at the track. But we're going to take a little break here. We'll come back and talk about the 8th and final as we take a little pause for the cause here and we honor America with the playing of our national anthem. Good evening, race fans. Welcome into Turfway Park Dollar Friday here at the track. Also live music from the Naked Karate Girls and $1 dogs, $1 beers, and $1 win, place, and show bets. 28 minutes to post. The Power Track is fast. Couple of carryovers tonight. You want to get involved, but first, if you'll take out your racing programs, I will give you tonight's late program changes. First race, it does start that pick 5 with that $24,354 carryover. And there is a jockey change in the opener on number 7, Just Gun It. Make the rider Heriberto Figueroa. Figueroa picks up the 7. Scratch number 9, Logan. Number 9, Logan has been scratched in the opener. Again, that pick 5 carryover over $24,000, and currently right now just shy of $23,000 in new money already in that pool. Expect that to be at least 6 figures. So I expect $100,000 in new money in there, and we'll talk about the second race now. No changes, started of the pick 4. If you'll turn to the third race, single 6, carryover $18,047, and there is an overweight on the 8, Indy Rhythm, that jockey plus 3 pounds. No changes in the fourth. In the fifth race, we welcome in the Hoffman family. We'll be celebrating with the Hoffman family here tonight, and a couple of scratches. Scratch number 7 is CC My Sis, and number 8, Matt's Honey. Numbers 7 and 8 scratched out of the fifth. Sixth race, the East Side Swingers, the Beachmont Tennis League in the house. There's a scratch to number 5, Over the Blues. That reduces the field to 5, so no super. Cancel the superfecta wager in the 6th. Race number 7, there are 3 scratches. Scratch number 6, Factress. Scratch number 7, Dreams Are Possible. Scratch number 8, Christian Miss. Number 6, 7, 8, all withdrawn from race 7. 8th and final with that high 5 carryover of just shy of $1,500. Number 10, My Mayday, the rider 3 over. Scratch number 11, Eli's Coming. Scratch the 13, He's a Brat. And scratch number 14, Libor Plus. 8th race numbers 11, 13, and 14. All scratched. Well, those are the changes at this time. Any additional changes coming in throughout the balance of the card, I'll get those to you as they do so. First post in 26 minutes. Welcome back to the Odds Couple Show, race fans. Prior to the break, we got through the first 7 races and then the changes, and we have another race to talk about left on tonight's card, but there's a race I want to talk about left here on March 14th. In fact, on March 14th, we do have the Jeff Ruby Stakes, Dan, and a lot of other stakes that day in undercard. I think, in fact, we have 6 stakes in all. It's going to be a great race program. 1:10 special PM post day racing. I know you're going to be here.
Oh, absolutely. It was my... People are going to laugh at this, but I could have went to Vegas for the Pac-12 conference tournament. But at the time when I had to make the decision on, do I want to be here for the last Jeff Ruby with the old Turfway or be at the Pac-12 tournament. UCLA was so bad at the time, I was like, well, why would I want to go there? They're going to play Wednesday night, they're going to lose, and then I'm stuck.
Even if they're good, you got to be here. Last one in this building, you got to be here.
Yeah, so I decided to be here, and I think I made the right decision. I can watch the games on TV.
I think you did too. There's going to be a great race card that day here, the Ruby Stakes on March 14th. I think there was 75 nominations in the race,
Wow.
and currently right now we have 10 or 11 horses that have kind of committed for the race, including the Battaglia winner from the Wesley Warren Barn Invader. Danny Gargan's bringing one in from South Florida that was just fourth in a stake event, fast closing fourth. Maybe Azul Coast, the El Camino Real winner from the Baffert Barn. Mike McCarthy's looking at the race. Local trainer Ray Hernandez is going to run a horse named Finnick the Fierce. He's been running the 3-year-old stakes down in Louisiana. And there's a few other horses that point in for that as well. Of course, we have the Bourbonnette Oaks that's shaping up for a very good race as well. I think there's 9 or 10 commitments in that. The Latonia Stakes for fillies and mares, that's shaping up pretty well. Animal Kingdom Stakes, and I think the trainer of Animal Kingdom, Graham Motion, is coming with a horse for that. And Peter Miller's bringing a couple horses in that day, I think maybe for the Oaks and the Ruby as well. Of course, we have the Classic. We also, there's several other races, the Rushaway. They're all getting a lot of interest, and I think it's just about 10, 11 horses committed in every one of those already. The entries won't come out till Wednesday for Saturday, so I'm looking forward to Wednesday afternoon when that card comes out to get into handicapping.
Absolutely.
And I know we're going to add a couple of pick fours or some pick fives, great betting opportunities that day.
Absolutely. I mean, we'll have on our sheet for Fat Ball Guy, we will have so much detail that day. We treat it like it's the Kentucky Derby day. I mean, we've got comments on 6, 7 horses every race. We'll have doubles, pick threes, pick four, pick fives. And unlike most tout services, we actually bet.
Right. Well, that's what, unlike most handicapping shows, we have skin in the game too here. So that's why I like the show.
I'm mad because I lost money.
Right. We're with you. I'm going to have some money on this card too. Talking about that pick 5, single 6. I'm going to even be involved. I'm going to be involved in late pick 4, as will you. And we have one race left to talk about in that pick 4. That's race number 8. And how are we going to close this thing out? I know we talked about spreading. How deep are we going to go?
I'm going to make 2 different tickets. My first ticket, I'm single in the 10, my Mayday. Outside post, going 6.5, turning back, shipping in from Gulfstream. Gets Jimenez. Ravelli's on fire here. So, to me, that's the obvious horse.
Yes.
Now, does he have to win to where that's my only ticket I'm going to make? No. I'm going to save with another ticket with Kickapoo the 3, the 8 looking, Lucky looking, and Champagne Chills the 9. So I'm going to use 3, 8, 9 on 150-cent pick 4. I'll probably make a $2 or $3 one to the 10. And I'll try to, so if the 10 wins, it's not going to pay as much, but I'll have it multiple times, or hopefully if I can get there. But I'm only taking 1, 5, 4, 6 with a bunch of them in the 7th into the 10, and then a 50-cent one with the 3, 8, and 9.
Yeah, I like the 10 too. I see you as your top pick. On the pick 4 that I'm playing, I'm going to use the 3, 4, 6, 9, 10, and 12. Obvious horse, like you said, the 10, my Mayday. He wins, and we get through here. We're still getting paid, but so are a lot of other people.
Right.
And that's good that they're cashing. But, we're all playing against each other, so you want to have some horses they may not. And that's what I try to do to add some other horses in there. Poppy Joe Rocks, 8-1 on the turnback. I love turnback horses. Dropping in class, comes from a good barn. And De Leon, a good, strong stretch rider. Number 9 is one I think may be a price, Champagne Chills. And, when I'm looking at this, I think the 3, 4, 6. The 6 is going to be a big number for Ronnie Hale. So I'm adding some horses in here. I think the 10's the best. And, I'm going 10, 4, 9. You got 10-3. The only horse I didn't use that you spoke about is Lucky Looking. And just because of budgetary reasons, I had to cut one. He was the exact last horse that I cut.
Which makes sense. I only threw the 8 and 9 in because going 6.5 at any track in America, I'd try to throw in turnbacks.
Yeah.
So if they're coming out of a mile race and they're a price, I'm tossing them on that ticket if I can.
Right.
And, and that's why I like the 10. He's turning back too. So, I think the 10's probably going to win, but I want those backups like you to have a chance, at that $500 or $600 50-cent pick 4. Mm-hmm. And, if you get lucky in the 7th race, I mean, there's there's some prices in the 7th.
Yeah, and
that can
I think
win.
you can get some prices. And kind of like last night's late pick 4, there was a couple of prices, not big. Early it was big. But late, there's a couple of horses that paid okay. Now, when you get to the pick 4 ending, well, the logical horse that won the race is paying $202, which is still good. It was hittable. We gave it out here for, I think, a $30 or $24 play. But the other ones in there, $1,900, $3,200, $1,200. If you can just beat,
You just got to get lucky.
yeah, so I think it's going to be a big card because I think we're going to have a lot of people interested that's going to be watching us. They're going to play the pick 5. They're going to play the single 6. And they're going to stick around. So we're going to have some money in these pools tonight. And, as you can see here, Dan, the crowd is filling up on the 3rd floor. They're going to get involved with those dollar beers. Dan's going to go back at his beer drinking 2 downstairs. And we're going to take a shot at this pick 5 here in 18 minutes. Thanks for coming out to Turfway here on Dollar Night at the track. Good luck.